And now a page from our Sunday Morning Almanac, June 24th, 1947. For it was on that evening that pilot Kenneth Arnold reported peering into the Seattle sky and seeing several curious flying objects he could not identify. The objects skipped, he said, like saucers across a pond. It wasn't much, but he'd said quite enough. America's fascination with UFOs was unforgettably launched.
CBS reports UFO. Friend, foe, or fantasy?
Good evening. Reports of flying saucers are nothing new.
Scores of people reported some very strange doings in the desert surrounding Roswell, New Mexico. There were flying saucers, the eyewitnesses said, and little gray men.
They were fairly good-looking people. The eyes maybe might be a little bit larger, small nose and small ears.
Frank Kaufman was a military intelligence officer back then. In 1997, he and other Roswellians gathered on the 50th anniversary of the supposed spaceship crash to celebrate that long-ago intergalactic meeting. The true believers offer many interesting theories, but in answering one question, they raise another. If they truly have identified the unidentified, what should we really call UFOs?
Highway 375, north of Las Vegas, is one of the loneliest stretches of road on the planet. And yet to the traveler, the road offers up its own attractions, wondrous and unexpected. And occasionally a little bizarre. Rachel, Nevada, proud to announce its elevation, if not its population, just happens to be the undisputed UFO capital of the world. And if it is the UFO capital, then the Little Alien Bar and Grill would be the White House, and the bar's owners, Pat and Joe Travis, the first family of UFOs.
I've had a friend tell me that there is a large underground base of aliens here. We've had one man that told me he woke up and had an alien in his room.
Watching his TV.
Yeah. They smiled to each other
Nodding
because
it.
there was no other communication. And when he got back up the next morning, he was gone. And he said that being was really there.
Rachel is fast becoming something of a tourist destination, visitors coming from far and wide. These three guys drove up from New Mexico.
I mean, do you think that it's possible that UFOs exist?
Yeah. Sure, it's a big universe and stuff.
It is a big universe, I'm told.
We're not the only intelligent beings.
Yeah.
Don and Charlene Finkner drove all the way from Lubbock, Texas.
We think we might learn there's extraterrestrial vehicles somewhere.
You think that there are?
I believe that there are. I really do.
The Little Alien Bar acts as a kind of visitor's welcome center.
Oh, we have wonderful alien burgers.
They're out of this world.
They are out of this world.
Here, tourists can talk to people who believe in UFOs.
There is one lady that lives here that was followed home by a craft one night. She feels that the only reason she was not abducted is that she was over childbearing ages.
Visitors can talk to people who say they have actually seen UFOs, like Liddell Singer, who works here.
It was 2:30 in the morning, and there was this big blue ball in my living room.
Glowing?
It was kind of glowing, and I watched it for a few minutes, and it just kind of drifted around my living room and then up to the top floor and then back down.
And visitors to Rachel may even meet real aliens.
Well, my name is Ambassador Merlin II. I'm from the Alpha Draconis star system in this galaxy.
Ambassador Merlin is behind a bill moving through the Nevada legislature to designate Highway 375 as the extraterrestrial alien highway.
Then we'll also have signs saying, watch for low-flying saucers, and alien crossing, to attract visitors from all over this planet to look at the signs, perhaps...
And perhaps other planets.
And perhaps other planets, yes. And I'm sure that they would be happy to, at some point, put in a visitor center for aliens and earthlings both.
Yikes.
Would there be separate bathrooms?
He's a visitor from the Zeta Reticuli.
The aliens Earthlings meet would look like this. A guy named Trad, who Merlin met one night down in Vegas.
What's this thing all about?
Well, this is when the Starship Isis is calling.
I see.
This is when I want to call the Starship Isis.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I do it twice, I get beamed up.
Be careful with that one, will you?
In the event of a tourist boom, Pat and Joe are ready. They have the Little Alien Motel, seen here, and a load of souvenirs.
And it's a humanoid doll.
Visitor's
and then we
permit.
have our visitor's permit.
Postcards?
Of course, we have wonderful
This is like Niagara
postcards.
Falls. You have so much stuff.
Pat even has Rachel Nevada guidebook.
Let me ask you a question. Do you really need a guidebook to know what to do in Rachel? There's only a couple places to go, aren't there?
Visitors can also drop in at the Area 51 Research Center and talk with Glenn Campbell.
Well, I meet an awful lot of aliens. I've met an alien, Ambassador Merlin. I've met a Venusian and a woman from the Pleiades. And people from all over the galaxy. Yeah.
Area 51 is a name for the super-secret Groom Lake Government Test Facility just over the mountain, where the U-2 spy plane and the stealth bomber were developed.
The story that comes up again and again is the notion that the government may have had alien hardware out at the Area 51 of the nuclear test site.
Mm-hmm.
And now I find that from what I know of the place, I can't entirely dismiss it.
In the evening, tourists all head out to a sacred site for true believers, the Black Mailbox, a veritable bus stop for UFOs.
It's beyond our physics. I've seen stuff do 120-degree turns from...
Their guide is Chuck Clark, a scientist of sorts who has moved to Rachel.
Well, they could be actual alien craft that are human-piloted, that are alien-piloted, unless some alien just happened to be cooperating with us out there and decide, well, I'll take it for a test drive and tell you how you did or something. I'm sure that goes on.
You're sure that goes on?
Well, I mean...
So by saying you're sure it goes on, then
I mean, if the rumors are true that there has, at times at least out here, been an alien presence, and I see no reason to disbelieve it.
But then no one in Rachel has any reason to disbelieve.
What's your fondest something will happen? What would you like to see?
A saucer coming by, just a drifting, really moving.
And to see the night sky with the stars, and to think about it's possible there might be UFOs. And I feel like I'd feel a great love toward them. I wouldn't want them making experiments on me, but I would enjoy.
This is a place that brings out the extremes in people. For example, a light in the sky. It can mean a lot of things, but people impress upon that light what they want to see. Some people see UFOs, people see the military, some people look at that light and see God himself.
Next morning, Don and Charlene buy some souvenirs at the research center before heading on their way.
So would you come back?
Oh, we'll be back.
Of course, yes,
we'll
we'd
be
love to
back
come
sometime.
And who knows? They just may return to a tourist mecca here. As implausible as it seems, it happened once before out here in the desert, just down the road in Vegas.
And now a page from our Sunday Morning Almanac. December 17th, 1969. The day a high-flying inquiry was brought down to Earth. For that was the day the Air Force announced the end of Project Blue Book, its investigation of unidentified flying objects. UFOs first took flight in 1947, when pilot Kenneth Arnold said he saw high-speed discs over Mount Rainier, and after stories spread of a flying saucer crash near Roswell, New Mexico. The Air Force launched its investigation a year later, and over the next 2 decades, it had plenty of menacing-looking photographs and first-person accounts to look into. An alleged UFO sighting in Michigan in 1966 made national headlines, and eyewitness testimony made it onto CBS News.
When it got to the top of the trees, it stopped, and a blue and a white light come on it. And I looked at it, and I thought I was seeing things.
Seeing things or not, 3 years later, the Air Force ended Project Blue Book, concluding that most of the sightings could be attributed to known causes, such as weather balloons, natural phenomena, or outright hoaxes. Years later, though, the CIA admitted that some of the UFO sightings could be traced to secret spy plane test flights. But if the government has closed the book on UFOs, Hollywood has not. Space aliens continue to visit earthly movie screens. Sometimes they're friendly, as in 1979's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Sometimes they're not, as in the 1996 film Independence Day. Either way, UFOs remain among the most easily identifiable crowd pleasers around.
Reports are coming in from all over the empire, from all over the world. The government has not yet...
We still don't know what it is or where it comes from, but there's something there.
A large object traveling at supersonic speed is headed over the North Atlantic toward the east coast of the United States.
They're a routine sighting at the movies.
There is anxiety and concern.
With a little help from Hollywood, UFOs and aliens in every shape and size have landed on Earth, either to wage war, make friends,
I'll be right here,
or even check in with the president. In fact, in real life, one commander-in-chief, Jimmy Carter, claimed to have a close encounter of his own. And he's not alone. The National UFO Reporting Center posts 3,000 to 4,000 sightings on its website every year. Not long ago, an incident at O'Hare Airport even made the front page of the Chicago Tribune. So, where can you hope to spot ET? Well, for many of us, Roswell, New Mexico put UFOs on the map. From its local restaurants, to its alien head lampposts, to its space-aged McDonald's, the town is like an intergalactic shrine.
After the craft had impacted into the bluff, it kind of set back down kind of low.
Then, of course, there's the main attraction, the International UFO Museum.
So is this what an alien might look like?
Kind of a composite, but not completely what the people in Roswell saw. So yes, it's very possible.
Julie Schuster is the museum's director.
The majority of the people that come through our doors believe there is more out there, that there is life out there, that UFOs and extraterrestrial are totally plausible.
Roughly 2.5 million Earthlings have visited this Roswell institution since its inception in 1992. That's about 160,000 every year. They come from all 50 states and 35 countries. Some are just curious. Others are firm believers.
Was awakened in the middle of the night. The curtains were just glowing orange and going pulsating. And there was one big as this ceiling hovering above my junkyard.
We get all kinds of stories. We get abductions. We had a man from Australia that came in who felt he had been abducted. We got him in touch with a leading UFO abduction researcher. That's what we do.
Roswell made UFO history in 1947 when, as recreated in this made-for-TV movie, a rancher found some mysterious debris on his property.
Oh my God. This thing was big.
Experts from the nearby Army airfield were called in.
My father was a first lieutenant.
Julie Schuster's father was the public information officer.
On July 8th, 1947, he issued a press release under orders from Colonel William Blanchard saying, basically, we have in our possession a flying saucer.
But by the very next day,
General Ramey out of Fort Worth issued the story that no, it was a weather balloon.
And so the conspiracy theories were launched.
If you read the books by those of us who've spent an enormous
Nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, a preeminent UFO researcher, co-authored a book on Roswell.
We know that the government knows a great deal about it and has kept it secret successfully for 60 years. We know that there's proof positive that the planet's being visited, that the government is lying.
The government eventually confessed that the crash stemmed from a top-secret effort to monitor Soviet-era nuclear testing. So is that the end of the story?
The fact that they lied and said it was a weather balloon instead of a Cold War technology does not make it an alien spacecraft.
Michael Shermer is founder of the Skeptic Society and publisher of Skeptic Magazine. So you'd be right in thinking he's a bit skeptical of UFOs.
When ufologists say, the government lies to people, no kidding. I mean, you needed UFOs to understand that.
That's an enormous enlargement, you realize.
But Stanton Friedman doesn't buy it. Armed with photographs, he spent 4 decades lecturing on why aliens and their spacecrafts are real.
Is there a bigger story than finding out that we're not the big shots in the neighborhood we'd like to think we are? That there are all kinds of civilizations out there?
They all have this saucer shape. Why is that?
Well, if you want an ideal flying vehicle, think about it. You'd like it to be able to land and take off from an area no bigger than itself. Can literally fly circles around anything we got flying, but it can hover, move straight up, straight down.
But how come there's not like a great, super quality picture on the front page of the New York Times that definitively says, guess what? UFOs.
Absence of evidence is not evidence for absence. Now, there's good reason. I talked to a cop who was standing outside his police car. He always has a camera in the car, traffic accidents, that sort of thing. Saucer comes, goes right over the car. Is he thinking about the camera? Heck no. He's astonished by the saucer.
I do get a lot of mail from ufologists saying, how can you be skeptical? You know what happened to me? It was 3 in the morning and I was driving down this lonely rural highway, and of course that's always where it happens, right? It's not like I was sitting there at Dodger Stadium with 50,000 other people. Barry Bonds was up to bat, and a UFO came over. Why does that never happen?
Well, how come they don't land on the White House lawn?
Because you can't fly over the White House. Well, why would they? You think they want to talk to George Bush? Obviously, aliens are here for their purposes, not to satisfy us.
CBS reports UFO. Friend, foe, or fantasy?
Reports of flying saucers are nothing new. From the beginning of recorded time, men have been seeing unexplainable things in the sky.
Americans have been curious about UFOs for a long time. Some publications seem exclusively dedicated to the subject. And why not? According to a recent CBS News poll, 1 in 5 of us believes extraterrestrials have contacted Earth, while almost half of us think there's intelligent life beyond our planet. So, fact or fiction? Soon, we may know for sure.
Any day now, we could have an existential shock.
Professor Michio Kaku is a theoretical scientist at City College of New York.
A new wave of satellites is going up in orbit, which could settle the question once and for all. And we hope to find other planets with liquid oceans that can perhaps recreate the conditions for life that we found on the planet Earth.
Even before we find that life, Kaku says, it may already have found us.
I've looked at a lot of UFO sightings, and the one that really sends shivers up your spine is the famous JAL sighting. We had a JAL, Japan Airlines airliner, where the pilots saw something in the distance. It was tracked by radar.
No matter how much that incident tends to baffle, Michael Shermer says he still needs concrete proof.
So I say the same thing to the alien abductees and the ufologists that I say to the Bigfoot people and the Loch Ness people. Fine, it might be right, but show me the body.
Does it seem at all hypocritical that you're so focused on the definitive nature of the existence of UFOs and aliens and you've never seen one yourself?
I don't think that's strange. I chased neutrons and gamma rays for 14 years. I never saw one. I can't give you one and say, here's what I'm talking about. I've never seen Tokyo. It's there.
A long way from Tokyo, back in Roswell, Julie Schuster has her own reason for believing.
Simple. My daddy said.
For now, the most definitive UFO sightings remain at the movies, where aliens are not shy about making themselves known.
We've always been fascinated by aliens,
We have come to visit you in peace and with goodwill.
and that's putting it mildly. And mathematically speaking, aliens should exist.
There are 2 trillion other galaxies we can see, each with 100 billion Earth-like worlds. 100 billion. Okay, it's hard to believe they're all sterile.
Seth Shostak is the senior astronomer at the SETI Institute. SETI stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I happen to know that this is sort of a trick question when people say, do UFOs exist?
I mean, obviously UFOs exist because that just means unidentified flying objects. But the real issue here is not that you see things in the sky, it's what you claim they might be.
You just can't assume if you see something in the sky that looks a little weird that it's some kind of alien thing, which is what a lot of people assume.
Author and investigative journalist Leslie Kane.
Most sightings that people have, oh, I see something in the sky, those kinds of sightings can usually be explained. The planet Venus, airplanes, comets, shooting stars, birds, let's say 5 to 10% are the cases that any conventional explanation can be ruled out. Those are the cases that are of interest.
In 2017, Kane co-authored a New York Times story that revealed the existence of, believe it or not, a secret Pentagon program devoted to studying UFO sightings.
It was a huge revelation to know that the government took it that seriously. There's really been a sea change of attitude towards this topic. It's not to say that there's no more ridicule, but it's way less.
And sure enough, in a CBS News poll, 2/3 of Americans say they believe that there's intelligent life on other planets, up 10% from 2017. The Times story included links to 3 videos captured by Navy fighter jet pilots in 2004 and 2015 with infrared sensors.
My gosh. They're all going against the wind. Look at that thing, dude. It's rotating.
The Navy and the Department of Defense have not been able to explain what this thing was, with all the work they've done on it.
More recently, Navy sailors captured this night vision video of 3 triangular somethings off the California coast. The Pentagon declined our request for an interview, but offered a statement that said, in part, the Department of Defense takes any incursions by unauthorized aircraft very seriously and examines each report. As we collect additional data, we expect to close the gap between the identified and unidentified to avoid possible strategic surprise.
That's always the biggest question. Is it Chinese? Is it Russian? Could it be their technology? And if it is, we're in trouble because they're way ahead of us.
I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone who has seen more reports, paperwork, photographs, interviews as you on this topic. Has there ever been a confirmed extraterrestrial ship?
We'd have to say no. We'd have to say what's confirmed is that we don't know what this, let's call it a ship or an object. We don't know what it is. We can just say what it isn't. Right. And you can ask yourself, well then what, and of course what we call the extraterrestrial hypothesis is a valid one. I mean, maybe it is from some other place in the universe.
Now, the military's secret program was only one 2017 surprise. Oumuamua was another. Oumuamua, which means scout in Hawaiian, is something that a Hawaiian telescope glimpsed in 2017 just as it was leaving the solar system.
We cannot really chase it. It's moving faster than any rocket that we can produce.
Avi Loeb teaches astrophysics at Harvard. Until last year, he was the chair of Harvard's astronomy department.
Prior to the discovery of Oumuamua, we have never seen an object from outside the solar system. It's the first interstellar object, and that by itself surprised me.
Loeb identified 3 other strange characteristics of Oumuamua. First, it seemed to be flat, like a pancake. Second, it had no tail, as a comet does. Finally, it was accelerating away from the sun, as though being pushed.
And in order for that to happen, the object had to be very thin, sort of like a sail reflecting light, instead of reflecting the wind as you find on a sailboat.
A pair of Harvard scientists say a massive, fast-moving visitor to our solar system may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization.
So we suggested that perhaps this object is a technological relic. In fact, a sail produced by another civilization, and the first indication that such a civilization exists.
Loeb's theory didn't win him any friends among other scientists, especially when he turned it into a best-selling book.
All right, Jill next.
So, Avi, I get a little bit pissed off when you throw the entire scientific culture under the bus, because some of us have been thinking about and building instruments to find anomalies for a very long time.
My colleagues responded very negatively.
I am not convinced that Avi's right about this. You know, there are a lot of people here who know a lot more about asteroids than I do, and they say, look, it looks like an asteroid, it quacks like an asteroid, it has all the characteristics of an asteroid.
SETI's Seth Shostak wasn't persuaded by the Navy videos either.
Think about the fact that there are 750 or so satellites up there whirling around the Earth, making those photos you find on Google Earth. Don't you think they would have found some of these saucers if they were really around?
You sound like a skeptic about there being extraterrestrial intelligence, and yet you work for SETI, whose mission supposedly is to find it.
Yeah, I have no doubt that there's extraterrestrial intelligence. But it's a different thing to say, and not only are they out there, but they've come to visit. But the evidence, to my mind, is not good.
Loeb, Kane, and Shostak all agree on one thing, that the government and the scientific community should spend more effort and money on the search for alien life.
The scientific community refuses to discuss it. I think this should be a mainstream activity. Just like we are doing archaeology on Earth, we can explore archaeology in space in search for past cultures that are not around anymore.
Next month, if all goes well, the Pentagon's UFO Research Group, now called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, will finally go public with a report requested by Congress. But no matter what that report winds up saying, Seth Shostak doubts it will change anyone's mind. Is there anything wrong with people believing whatever they want to believe?
I don't see too much harm in it, to be really honest about it. I mean, the aliens, if they are here, they don't do much, right? They don't address the national debt. They don't cure any disease. They don't do anything except occasionally appear to people in their cell phone videos.
So live and let live.
Yes. Yeah, maybe that's the right attitude.